Welcome to Week 5 of GPH 738, Program Planning and Evaluation. This week's topic is Program Planning and Implementation, Proceed, Intervention Components. We will be continuing our focus on Phase 5 of the model, Implementation, which you started last week. There are 3 learning objectives this week. Describe methods and resources for selecting evidence-based activities and outputs to address targeted objectives. Illustrate how available staff and funding influence selected intervention activities. And demonstrate where to find reliable evidence-based intervention resources. This week we are focusing on the how of your proposal. Last week, we determined what your intervention aims to achieve. You communicated this by drafting goal and objective statements. This week, you will identify the components of your proposed intervention. Notice that I didn't say program. This course may be called Program Planning and Evaluation, but public health initiatives are not confined to programs, and neither are you with this assignment. Your proposed intervention may in fact be a program, but it may also be something like a proposed policy or procedure. When you review the examples of evidence-based intervention resources this week, take note of the variety of kinds of interventions that are represented in them, and don't feel constrained by having to develop a full program for this class. One thing you do need to consider, though, is not only how you will implement your intervention over the next 2 years, but if you have success, how will it be sustained or continued beyond this initial funding period? Your program proposal will need to include a discussion of potential sustainability opportunities. This lecture is the only one you have to view this week. For readings, I would recommend reviewing them in the order they are presented in the syllabus. The Community Toolbox will give you a nice overview of how to select interventions that are evidence-based. Next, you have several websites to visit that host specific evidence-based interventions. And finally, you have 2 papers that discuss sustainability of programs. I have also included an additional recommended website for evidence-based interventions. The more of these resources that you have in your toolbox, the easier program planning and evaluation will be for you. For the discussion board this week, you will discuss the common challenges with sustainability for 2 programs in this week's readings. Please identify some sustainability activities that either or perhaps both program could have tried. In your response post, consider if the ideas suggested by a peer would be likely or unlikely to work. And please describe why you feel that way. You are also asked to submit the logic model, implementation plan, and sustainability discussion for your case study this week. This falls under Section C of the proposal requirements. You have a maximum of 2 pages for this assignment. Please see your syllabus and the learning module on Blackboard for more information. Your instructor will be happy to answer any questions you may have.